election night. What's up, y'all? Wanna say hi, Zora? Hanging out with my girl Zora. Oh, she's running away. We are excited to drop in with you guys today. Blow off some steam, connect our hearts. Opening as always with a little dance party. One light sparks another. Just keep spreading it around. See what the cards have in store for us today. Give folks a minute or two to arrive. Such a good message for us all today, right? In Western New York, we're starting to get snow. There's a lot more night than, well, I guess it's the same amount of night and day. I just don't get up early enough to see it. Tis that season for change, going inward. So I'm excited to drop in with you. Drop in with my heart tonight. See what Spirit wants us to know tonight. A lot of people are stressing out right now about the election, so take a moment if you're listening to this later. Just a little dance. The more we can get out of our heads and into our bodies, the better for everyone. Such a good track. That was Miracle by Caravan Palace. So fun, right? So here we are in November, the month of November 2020, and we just had that massive full moon on Halloween on Saturday. Wondering how you guys are feeling after that. I had all the plans in the world to go out, had some really fun outfits. My husband and my cat and my dog were all lions, and I was the lion tamer, and I had the whip, and it was pretty exciting. Of course, when Saturday rolled around, I was feeling all the emotions that come with the full moon and spent the evening in just sobbing my heart out, and it was amazing. No regrets, but it's kind of funny. I feel like Halloween and New Year's, I was telling my younger girlfriend today, I was like, those days, there's so much expectation. People are like, I'm gonna have the best Halloween, I'm gonna have the best New Year's, like whatever. And then it's always like, just amateur night craziness, I don't know. For me, it's like, I just go to bed early now. You can tell I'm becoming an old woman. But I hope that you all had a lovely Samhain or Halloween, Day of the Dead. Today is All Souls Day. So we're still in this very lovely time where the veils are thin and we get to connect to our guides and to our ancestors. And actually that's what happened for me on Saturday. yeah, just really was feeling very tender and had a really great cry. And I was telling my friend today that there was a moment where I could feel that almost like the two halves of my body were two separate beings, like speaking to each other. It was almost like the left was representing my inner child, and the right was representing my, like a mothering part of myself, nurturing that inner child who was kind of like having a tantrum, or just having a hard time, like struggling with things and releasing and letting go of things. And I just found myself just kind of like rocking myself like a mother would like her child, and just felt really held by my own self. And I've heard a lot about reparenting ourselves, but I had never felt it so viscerally in my own physical body. It was very cool. So I guess I share that to let you know that we do have so much more capability, and whether you're connecting with a guide or a different part of your own self, whatever you want to call it, we do have so much more capacity than sometimes we even realize. And it is such a gift to cry. Like I rarely get a good cry. I'd say like once a month. Usually it's PMS time. But when I do, I really I try to lean into it because it's so orgasmic to just let it all move through me, move through us. So I hope that you had a good full moon. And the card that we pulled last week for a potential outcome I was thinking about today was the Three of Wands. And we mentioned that there's kind of like a harnessing of forces, like working with the earth and spirit and ourselves. And I literally kind of felt that, with that action, just like allowing this energy to pour forth through me. It was me, but it was also not me, like a different part, so to speak. And so that definitely came to the surface for me. Curious if you guys had any insights to share from last week. And I guess we'll go ahead and get dropped in. No one's really here on the live yet, but it's 8:08, which is a great time. We're just going to go with it. And hopefully if you're watching the replay, you can take a minute and just drop in with me as well, because the cool thing about time and space is that it doesn't actually keep us from being apart from each other. When you hear this energetic wave, it will still be reaching you and still be just when you need it, and still be existing in the now, right? So we're still here together. So I'll just have us go ahead and close our eyes. We'll just take some nice deep breaths. Taking a moment to focus on gratitude. That feels like it's coming up big time right now, and these waves of the mental confusion and struggle. Returning to gratitude, I've heard, is one of the things that can really help us to shift, and it feels like it's just coming up now. I'm so grateful just to even have this forum to reach you and to drop in to my own body, and to hold space for the collective right now who is needing some TLC. So just sending gratitude for showing up today, for hearing the replay, for wherever you are right now. If you can breathe right now, then you have something to be grateful for. And I'll just imagine that I'm dropping a rooting cord down deep into the center of the earth. And simultaneously, I'm sending a beam of light up into the ethers and connecting both with grounded energy and with ascended masters, guides, angelic realms, beings of light, Sophia dragons, and all those who are here guiding me and my voice today for my individual highest good and each of the highest goods of all those who will catch the replay or be here live. And with that, we will drop into our hearts, drop into our bodies, can wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe take a nice deep breath in again. And we'll drop into our tarot reading for the week and see what's going on. Oh, loves. Okay. Wow. I feel kind of elevated. Rebecca, thank you so much. I had an amazing massage and energy session today with my friend Rebecca, and it was so needed. I get to offer that to people. You know, I get to have folks come over to my home and we do sessions in my healing space, and I do a blend of massage and energy and work with some crystals, and it's such a gift to give it, and being able to then go to someone who I feel like is at the same caliber or a higher caliber, and I just get to go receive in that way, is just such a treat, and it was really needed today, so I feel so grateful. So let's go ahead and shuffle here and see what wants to come through for this week. Okay. Anything feeling present with you guys that you might want to share or add into the sacred space here, feel free to send any messages or comments about how you're feeling today and what you might want some insight on as well. I will pull the cards and then I'll flip them around for us, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, one more shuffle here. All right. All right. Very interesting. All right, Rebecca, I love that you're here because so much of this, I think, is going to reflect what we process today in the session. So, all right. So the main, oops, I can't get to this to focus here. Hold on one second. I don't know if my lens is dirty or what's going on there. There we go. Okay. So the main card that we are focusing on today is the Nine of Wands. And I love this card. This is, I was actually thinking about this card as I was shuffling today. This is so interesting. So wands are the element of fire. And a lot of this feeling is this sort of following our passion and our heart. And when we get to the 9, it feels like this sense, we see this person sort of climbing up a mountain and almost at the peak here. And it's a sense of encouragement. Like we are close to reaching the peak, and we do have a lot of way that we've already come. He's sort of looking down at his feet and looking at oh my gosh, this has been such a hurdle. And yet he's not looking ahead to realize that it's only a couple more steps and then he'll be there, at the goal that he was searching for. And the phrase it's not about the destination, it is the journey, is popping into my head right now. So there's there's definitely an energy, with tonight, especially with the election going on. There's been a lot of momentum to sort of like get to a point, and I'm just going to be, I don't know, I guess I'll just be honest. From my opinion, it's like, I don't think that much is going to change no matter who our president is at this point. Our country is in such a state that it does take the people making the work from the ground up. The grassroots movements, and I love that so many people are getting involved in politics and in making change and protesting and speaking their truth. And so on that level, it feels like we have been following our passions as well, and hopefully we get to at least get to a point where we get to that peak, we can have perspective and kind of assess where we need to go from here. No matter what, it is sort of a peak experience tonight. And hopefully we do get some clarity when we're looking at a higher perspective. And we're being crossed by another Wands card. And this is another very celebratory card. So that makes me feel very positive. I guess, someone's going to be celebrating tonight no matter what. Maybe I shouldn't do this reading as much about the election. I'm going to switch modes here. But for us personally, we're getting this perspective, we're following our passion, and there is a moment to celebrate here. Acknowledging the efforts that we have made with community, with the people in our lives who have been there with us. And I love that in this card, it kind of reminds me of Captain Planet. There's sort of this energy of with our powers combined, it looks like they're calling him in with their rings here. So there's definitely this sense of connecting with community, connecting with your passion, making change. And for me, I know that I'm feeling really called to host these retreats at a mountain with people dancing. So this for me feels like a little bit of an affirmation that this is something for me to focus on and celebrate right now as well. Interestingly enough, in the recent past, we have the Four of Coins, which is, it's an interesting card. We see a stack of coins that here could represent actual finances or any sort of abundance that we might have on the physical plane that we've stored away and we're not actually using. And obviously there's snow, it looks kind of cold, and at that point it's what is a pile of money really going to do for you? You should probably cash those coins in and get yourself a nice coat or, a not tent house, maybe a wood-burning stove. So there's this sense of just saving for saving's sake is happening in the recent past. Maybe there was some concern about safety, maybe some root chakra issues coming up, do I have enough, questioning. And this is exactly what I was talking to Rebecca about today, which is kind of ironic. Or not ironic, it's just very synchronistic, I guess. And we definitely see a remembrance that we do have enough, and that, why not use it? So as we're moving forward, we're definitely using this more celebratory energy, and we're moving into the Eight of Coins. And there are quite a few coins, I guess, coins and, a lot of wands too going on today. So we got a lot of fire, a lot of earth today. So shifting into the Eight of Coins, which I think came up for us last time, crossing us in this position, and here it is in our potential outcome. And this is kind of keep going, the workman's card, taking baby steps each day to follow our calling and to make something beautiful. And it's often hard to see the whole picture when you're building one piece at a time. It might not feel like you're really doing that much, right? Here we just see one little sort of barbell thing, and then
when he brings it together with everything else he's been working on, it makes this really cool sort of sacred geometry potential portal. And that is definitely significant. So there's a sense of keep working, keep trusting, and remember that it's baby steps that we make the big changes with. And crowning the situation, this is kind of amazing. We have the Emperor reversed. And right now I'm thinking about the Emperor as sort of like, you know, the male leaders who create the foundation for us. And people are unhappy with the way things are going in terms of the leadership in our country. And there's definitely a sense of also looking inward to see, you know, how am I being a good leader right now? What is it that I need to be doing to create a safe and solid foundation for my own body, my own life, my own daily practice? Am I dancing? Am I moving? Am I, you know, laying around all day complaining? Or am I actually taking action? So here, really looking at where we might be giving our own power away by blaming others. You know, it's just not gonna all change because of one person. It's each of us that makes a difference. So here I feel like there is, we are being called into our own emperor power. And maybe there's a bit of resistance to that because the system's so broken and it seems like we can't make change, but we most certainly can. And it is those little things, those little, you know, baby steps that make the difference over time. And underneath here, we have the Five of Swords also reversed. Five of Swords is, it's basically been like a battle, and it looks kind of like there's these two figures in the background who are walking away, kind of, you know, losing the battle. And in the foreground, we have sort of this guy with this sort of greedy, evil grin on his face. He's got all the swords now, and he's like, I hold all the power. But it's like, well, who's going to hang out with you, bro? Like, where are you going? Like, where you're going to get all these swords and then do what with it, you know? So there's a sense of sort of defeat here, if we look at the two in the background. And a sense of sort of, you know, what is it that we're even trying to get? And is it worth it if we have to take it from other people? You know, really looking at what is worth fighting for. And sometimes letting it be okay to not win those battles when it's like a creepy, stilty jerk guy who's messing around with you anyways. I mean, this card, I feel like I'm going on weird tangents here, but I feel like there has been an abuse of power here, you know? So this guy already was lifted up. He had an advantage through his height. And this could be looked at in our political system and also in terms of just the injustice within the system that is our culture right now. And, you know, those who do have a leg up, it's like, are they really helping the ones that don't? Or are they just taking the swords from them? So there's definitely like a look here at the mental realm and the power structures. You know, with election night, this seems appropriate that this is kind of all going on. And if this is more of an internal situation, it's like really looking at, if you're feeling defeated right now, if you're feeling like this person walking away, knowing that, like, even though this guy might have taken your sword, he doesn't hold your soul. And sometimes it's better just to let him get away with that in the moment and not get involved in the drama, you know? So there's some sort of like power play situation here, and we're definitely looking at power on a larger level with the emperor. And there is this sort of celebratory, like, I don't know, I'm feeling positive about things right now in terms of the election. But again, like, no matter what happens, it is the day-to-day steps that we take as individuals. Just because an election can go one way or another doesn't mean that we don't still have to partake in changing our country and shaping ourselves and changing the world on a daily basis. So the way that we do that is finding the thing that makes you feel alive, that brings you joy, trusting that what that is your purpose. Your purpose will show up because it will spark in you. It will feel like those flames, that it will bring you to life. And then you do that day after day and keep following and trusting that. And that's how we make change, So here on the internal realm, we are seeing ourselves as the Devil card, kind of struggling with the duality. I know the last couple days for me, I've had a really intense, like, internal mental dialogue, feeling a lot of anger, having strange dreams about, like, even stuff, just like power stuff from when I was a kid. Like, I was playing like a softball game in my dream and just sort of had these strange memories of, like, being a child and, like, wishing my dad had come to my softball game, and I, like, yelled at him in the dream. It's so funny. But I feel like there's a lot coming up about our fathers, our leaders, the masculine energy in the world. So this is how we're seeing ourselves, as sort of reflecting upon, is it this way that's right, or is it this way that's right, or maybe it's neither way. Maybe no one is to blame and no one really is the victim. Maybe it's really seeing beyond where we have chained ourselves and chained each other and beginning to lift those, so that there really is no bad guy. There really is no devil. The darkness is our friend. The darkness is our teacher. So even though we're struggling maybe with some darkness right now, can we allow ourselves to even imagine that this is teaching us and showing us, and sort of have that observer's insight as we are going through that? And again, here we're seeing some internal struggle. So this is how we are seeing ourselves. And this is the 5 of Wands. So again, another sort of passionate, inner, fiery energy. And I mean, this is our country right now. We're all, like, saying, I know how to do it. This is how it should be done. No, this person's better, And we're all sort of not making any headway because we can't work together. And so it just feels like, what do these 5 guys have to do? They have to, it's like, well, let's just put down the wands for a minute before we try to force anything. And maybe we need to take a little break and go on a walk. And we need to talk about what is the best thing for the future. Instead of, like, trying to run around and fix things right now. It's like, let's start looking 7 generations ahead again. Let's start looking at the big picture. Let's ask for help from others. Let's not pretend that we know all the answers, And that's very humbling. That can be hard to do. But ultimately, it's one of the best things for us and for everyone else. So if we can have the courage to pull over and ask for directions, we'll get where we want to go a lot faster than trying to figure it all out on our own. And so here in the hopes and fears card, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. So this is like our 6th Wands card. There's so much, like, fiery, passionate energy going around right now. And the Ace of Wands, I feel like, is like Harry Potter's magic wand that's being handed to him. And aces are sort of like an initiation, a beginning, like a seed that's planted, and it's an offering from Spirit, and yet if we don't take it, then it will just go away. The aces are sort of quickly, like a fleeting energy. And so here, right side up, it would be like this amazing opportunity to grab this wand and make some magic, and Spirit is offering this to us. But when we see it in reversed, we're asking ourselves, where are we in resistance to receiving the gifts that are being brought to us right now? Are we overlooking the messages because we're stuck in our heads? We are questioning why instead of looking around and seeing with the eyes of awe. I definitely was feeling a lot of that this week. My mind was so loud, and even though a part of me on the inside, how we can have these different voices. Sounds what I'm like, I sound crazy, but these different voices inside of us speaking to each other at the same time. But the mind was so cranky and angry this week for me, and yet I know that Spirit is here, and I'm reaching out to parts of myself and knowing that I can shift through this. And sometimes it's just reminding ourselves that it's okay to feel down too. Like it's okay to not see the light and like have an ecstatic moment, and it will come back around. So maybe a part of us actually just wants to just be in the Devil card right now and just sit with it. And we're not ready to take this wand up yet, because we know that when we do, we have to admit to our own connection and to our bigger purpose. And that means we have to show up again and again. And the things that we've been asking for are actually available to us. And it means that we need to then do the work to complete our end of the bargain and, be of service. So sometimes when a card like that, that's a really positive card, comes up in reverse, it's just a part of us that is afraid of really taking that magic wand, because we're afraid of the power that it offers us. And then our potential outcome, here we have the King of Coins. And I think I pulled this exact card again today. This is so weird. This is the second time in a row that I pulled the same card in the potential outcome as like my daily card. So it's just interesting to me. But so the King of Coins is, it's like totally presidential. Like, it's a leader. It's a leader on the physical plane. And I think that we're all being asked to step up into our own leadership role, because we can't keep giving our power away to some other king, no matter who the leader is of the country. We each have to be leaders of our own sovereign divinity. And when we do that, that's when things will really change and those ripples will spread. So we do that by, showing up to take care of the physical plane. So that can be as simple as just cooking yourself healthy food. It can be, organizing and kind of planning some healthy meals for the week. And maybe it's just one or two to start. Maybe it's just buying some broccoli and learning how to cook it so it actually tastes really good. Maybe it's making a smoothie. Maybe it's putting on some music that you like and taking time to stretch every day and breathe before you jump out the door. And maybe it's time to really notice that you're having a cranky time, and just being aware of that, owning it, and letting the other people around you know where you're at, being vulnerable with that. And then that creates space for you to be a vulnerable leader just by being honest. So speaking our truth, walking with our heads held high, being proud of who we are. It's such simple things, but gosh, it took me 35 years of my life to get to a place where I wake up every day and I'm like excited to put on clothes, like like pants, and put on a little makeup and just feel good about being here in my body. And it's interesting because I dealt with a lot of depression. I wonder if I had gone back into some of those places and really treated myself to things that I was like excited to wake up and put on. And it's something so simple. It doesn't have to be expensive. But like feeling good about yourself is one of the most rebellious, empowering, like life-changing things that you can do for yourself and for the world right now. And I know that that's true because I've seen it happen in my own life, and I wouldn't be going live on Instagram and feeling comfortable like sharing my voice if I didn't take time to cultivate practices that allowed me to get to know myself and love myself. So it just feels like there is a moment to, here, I'm going to turn around one more time and just kind of recap everything. Like there is definitely this energy of we're getting to a peak moment here. There's definitely like a celebratory energy. There's a lot of passion and fire, and people want to make change right now and they want to see things shifting, and yet there is sort of this like, how do we actually work together, and how can we embrace the true power of ourselves, that comes from being a sovereign being and taking care of your body and taking care of your heart and loving the other people around you and being in the present moment. And we do that by day to day, like baby steps, moment to moment. Okay, what feels good to me right now? What little thing can I do to just bring a little life into my home or into my space? Oh, I can prune my plant and I can water my plant. I can make a cup of tea. I can, invest some money into a new pot for my plant so that it can grow bigger and I can enjoy seeing it grow and I can feel good. And I can create foundations for daily practices that allow me to find more ease and flow and regularity, just like I would do if I was tending, a small child. I would create like a ritual for it so that it knows a routine. It knows when bedtime is. It knows when to get up. It knows like certain foods that it can process easily. And really just being gentle to ourselves. This sort of power dynamic is happening in the mind too. It's like we're beating parts of ourselves up so that one part of ourself can feel big. And that really doesn't serve anyone at all. So, celebrating yourself, loving yourself, dancing and having a party on the beach, that sounds like a very good thing to be doing right now. And yeah, being a leader in that physical plane, especially this week. There's a lot swirling around, but always, I think that's a good practice to remember. So, how's that landing with you guys? Feel free to share any comments or anything that's coming up for you, and we will do some individual pulls. Today's so interesting. I feel like the words are just like pouring out of me, and it's just coming really easily. I'm not thinking about it as much today, which is kind of funny. When I first started doing this is probably like my eighth or ninth one now. I would get really nervous, like, what am I gonna say? Or like, do I have anything to say? And now it's just like blah, 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 blah. I just tell you guys all this, I don't know, just comes out. It's cool. This is interesting. So who would like an individual pull today? Do you want a card for yourself to get a little extra dose of inspiration for you individually?
let me know with just like a little comment or something. Yeah, I'm so excited you're here. Eve's happening. I saw your Instagram's such a cool world. I saw your dance post because I follow like #ecstatic dance. It must have been one of those or an embodiment one. And I saw your movement and I was just stunned. I was like, oh my God, look at this girl move. And I was like, I just loved it. And then I like went on your site and I saw what you did and I followed you and then you followed me. It's like so cute. Cool. Okay, yay, everyone wants one. Everyone wants cards. That's great. Kiki says that definitely resonates with me. It's been a week. Girl, you missed me when I started this. I was just sharing like how I had plans to go out on Halloween and then I ended up like staying in and crying all night and it was amazing. But damn, I mean like there's always so many layers of like what's going on. Because I know I personally was like PMSing and like I don't ever want to just credit that to that solo, but I also think that the full moon, the astrology, the, you know, Mercury in retrograde, Mars in retrograde, Scorpio season in general. It felt so good. And you'll have to watch the recap, but I like had some interesting clarity come through as I was crying, and it was amazing. I love a good cry. So, okay. So let's pull a card for Eve. Is your name Eve? I think it probably is, but I'm going to call you Eve because that's what it says. Eve's happening. Okay, a card for Eve for her highest good and the highest good of all. Ooh, you got the Page of Wands. She is so fun and she is like this playful, fiery, childlike, innocent, like rapturous. I think of like a kid on Christmas morning, just like running around, like so much energy and excitement, and she's full of passion and fire. She's also the youngest card in the deck, so she is sort of naively, kind of like the Fool, just running at things, and she doesn't really know, she isn't as experienced in it, but that's what makes her so beautifully pure and innocent. And so this card coming up for you feels like you're being guided to jump in kind of feet first to play with life, to I don't know if there's a specific workshop or job or like thing that's calling you, or this is just your energy in general, and she wants to be an ally for you, but it does feel like you're being asked to, like, I also think of the pages as like apprentices, right? So imagine that you're apprenticing with the element of fire and connecting with the fire and asking it like how it wants to work with you and how it can guide you and how to maybe not burn out all at once, but to like have that stable long-term burn as well. So she is your medicine for today. Yeah. Sounds perfectly like you. That's great. All right. So I think Rebecca was next. We will send one to you. And then Kiki will pull one for you too. 8:44, guys. Guys on the West Coast. Ladies on the West Coast. Or East Coast. I don't even know what coast I live on. Woo. Cool it down, Eliza. Cool it down. Alright, so pulling a card for Rebecca. Asking for a card for Rebecca for her highest good and the highest good of all. You got the Hermit card reversed. So for you, I'm trying to think what this feels like. You know, obviously when we think of hermit, we think of a more inward journey, going within and really being with spirit, but to have it in reversed, is there some way that maybe you're resisting being alone or going within or seeking these dark places within yourself? Yeah, I would say it could also be a sense of completion with the Hermit card, like a sense that, I don't know if you've been feeling hermity lately, and then it's time to come out of hermitude. But it definitely feels like there's some kind of dynamic here that wants to draw you in and to connect you to a deeper part of yourself than you've ever really experienced before, and to not be afraid of that. That came through clearly. That just came out of my mouth. Once I closed my eyes and was just like, well, what does this really want to say? That felt accurate. So I don't know if you're still on here, but I'll send you the replay. Yes, I feel like your guides are asking you to connect with them. Yeah. So Rebecca, that one is for you. And then Kiki, do you want a card too? I'll pull one for you if you would like. And Eve, if you're, I don't know where you live, but I'm planning these amazing retreats of course she says, in North Carolina in the month of March. And there's one that's focused on embodiment, and I'm going to be guiding people through daily dancing freedom ceremonies, which is like the form of embodiment ecstatic dance that I practice. And we really work with the 5 elements, and the whole thing becomes like a ceremony and container. Oh, you're in New York. Cool. Yeah, I'm in Western New York. I live near Syracuse. So maybe in March. Stay tuned. You can check it all out on the site. But we're definitely calling in a couple more to come join us. And there's a couple different options for retreats. I'm renting this amazing place the entire month of March in just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. So Kiki, you gotta come too. And Rebecca's gonna come. She's gonna be offering massages and energy work to everyone who comes to the first week to the embodiment retreat. So I think it's gonna be really amazing. Hey Chels, what's up girl? Okay, so pulling a card for Kiki. Interesting, you got the 3 of Wands again. Oh, Rebecca, your phone died. Oh my god. You'll have to watch the replay. I'll send you if you don't want to. So the 3 of Wands, and this was our potential outcome last time. I think you were still on the call, and again, it just feels like, I'm curious what like the textbook definition of this is, because in my mind, it feels like a harnessing of forces, and it feels like working with spirit, working with the earth, getting support from others. And I know that's more like the 3 of coins is like working with others, but I am going to look it up real quick because I'm curious why this keeps coming up for us. And I can also show you guys a couple of my favorite tarot books. So this one is amazing. It's called 78 Degrees of Wisdom, and it's by Rachel Pollack. And I think she wrote this in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, copyright 1980. And she was one of the first ones to like break down the major arcana into lines.
So like there's line 1, 2, and 3 of the major arcana, and it kind of like tells a story. And so she really kind of pioneered a lot of that. But she's got this great book that you can go card by card with as well. So I'm kind of curious, like, what on earth, why does the 3 of Wands keep coming up for us? And if other people have any insights on this, please feel free to post too. Okay, so traditionally, in the Rider-Waite Tarot, this is the 3 of Wands card. There's a guy like looking out at the ocean, and he's got his, oh yeah, this is what it was. So he's got his wands on the land, but he's like set ships out. He's sent ships out to go ahead and seek out new territories and new lands. So there's a feeling of being grounded and yet sending out, like, what's next? Like sending out feelers for, maybe it's going to a retreat. Maybe it's, you know, going to school for something new. Maybe it is, it could be a lot of things, but I'll read to you what she says here. So Rachel Pollack says, the number 3, because it joins 1 and 2 in a new reality, indicates combinations and achievements. So if you've been getting a lot of 3s, that could be part of it. In each suit, it shows the element in its maturity. So with Wands, this becomes accomplishment. The figure is shown strong, but at rest, unthreatened. The young competitors of the 5 have achieved success, especially in business, career, etc., though the card implies emotional maturity as well. So there's a part of us that has just accomplished something and yet is ready to expand and break into new horizons, so to speak. So if you felt like a recent sense of completion, this might be calling you to then harness those forces and shift into that next level that's calling you. Yeah, like leveling up, you know? This is my other favorite tarot book. This is called basically WTF, What the Fuck is Tarot? And it's by Bakara Whitner, and she is hilarious. And her stuff just like is so while that the Rachel Pollack might be a little bit more like esoteric, this is really tactile and grounded, and it always makes me like really laugh. Just the way that she describes things too. So I am curious what it says in here too. Okay, so 3 of Wands, she says looking ahead. Yeah. You're standing in the middle of something you've made and it's good. You did a thing. There's beauty inside of it. And yet you kind of want to take a sledgehammer to the edges of it to make room for more. The 3 of Wands allows us to see what something can become. The desire for expansion this card brings with it is not connected to selfishness or ego or greed. It is born of a transformative desire that is distinctly divine. In readings, I see this card connected to flashes of clarity or clairvoyance, which you know that you've talked about, where for a moment space and time fold in on themselves and allow us to glimpse something more. It's also time to re-examine plans we've made that we cannot visualize coming to pass. I just can't see it has the merit here. In 3 of Wands, there's a strong possibility we've outgrown something. And it says, this is not a time for complacency. Follow your desire to lean into the unknown and do not postpone renovating your house for fear of the temporary disarray of construction. I love that. And so this was our potential outcome last time. And I feel like this is applying definitely to all of us still. So that's why I wanted to kind of clarify that for myself and for all of us. But I hope that lands with you. Chelsea, do you want a card? Are you still here? I will be happy to pull one for you if so. And Rebecca, you got Hermit reversed.
So I felt like Spirit was kind of calling you to really go into deeper, like go deeper than you've ever been before. Yeah. And Kiki, you're so welcome. Yeah, my pleasure. I don't know if Chelsea's here. If she wants a card. Just have to comment if you want one, love. I might pull one for myself real quick too, because we're almost at 1 hour, and then I'll wrap up here. Hey girl. Okay. So I'm gonna pull one for myself just cause it's kind of fun. Oh, I got Queen of Cups, which is so perfect. Perfect for like the energy that I've been experiencing of just feeling a lot of feels very deeply, and reminding me to not get discouraged at the depth of the water, and reminding myself that I really do know how to tread water, and that there's nothing to be afraid of. I can float on my back if I need to. So that's a really good reminder for me. And also like that feminine receptivity feels really appropriate right now too. So that's helpful. Katie Beth, do you want a card, love? Got a couple more minutes if anyone wants one. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up then. Just want to say thank you so much for another lovely Tuesday evening together, and I really come to cherish these moments of reflecting and laughing with you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful week and great night's sleep, and shoot me a message if you're interested in coming one of the retreats in March. I would love to chat with you about that, and talk to you all soon. Okay, bye loves, take care.